Hello, how are you?
Jada Davis, I'm fine. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
This is going to be really cool, Jada, because you've got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm excited to allow you to introduce your different projects and your different body of work to everybody. Yeah. So, first and foremost, because you're sitting here with this really, really cute sweatshirt on that says Modern Movement, and as a dancer, I'm just really intrigued. I love the shirt. I'm going to let you tell everybody about your shirt.
Okay, so yeah, my shirt is Modern Movement Apparel. It is my baby, Modern Movement, that I started this year, actually. I got the idea a couple years ago, and I wanted to create like a brand. And it was kind of like cliche. You see a lot of like dancers like, oh, I want my own clothes and stuff like that. But like for me, it was like, I want something that all movers can wear. So like my slogan is by movers for movers. Whether you're going to the grocery store or you're a dancer like me, or you're just standing and you don't do much, like these are clothes for everybody who moves. And I got inspired to do that by actually a scripture, Acts 17:28, and it says, "For in him we live and move and have our being." And so God gives us these bodies and these entities to feel and to live in, and why not be confident and comfortable in that skin? So that's sort of where I got my cozy sweatshirt from.
Okay, now you make sure that you let us know where we can get the sweatshirts from in your apparel line.
Yeah, so Modern Movement at modern_MVMT, just like the shirt, on all social media, and then www.modernmvmt.com, apparel.com.
Okay, great.
Yep.
All right, Miss Jada. So, how long have you been dancing?
Oh, I've been dancing since I was 3. So yeah, I was one of those, my mom put me right into dance. So that's what I stuck with. I started dancing when I was 3 at Milwaukee Ballet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then my mom sort of wanted something a little more diverse. So I switched over to City Ballet Theater. And that's where I really got a lot of my background in dance and really started to find out what different genres of dance were, and like picking what I enjoyed the most, and really started developing like what it meant and what it felt like to be on stage and where that could take me. So, yeah.
Okay. So what is your favorite genre of dance? Where do you feel most at home?
I would say I feel most at home with African dance. Like you can ask me to African dance anywhere and I could do it. But I also like hip hop, free movement, fun music, all of that. And my third favorite would be tap. I love tap dance.
Oh, wow. You're a tapper?
Yeah.
Don't quit. No, because I think, okay, here's my thing. Like, a lot of times tap is like a lost art form, right?
Yeah.
Because people, for whatever reason, think that it's like not cool. But tap operates on beats. So, like, tap to hip hop music to me is like off the chains. Like, I love to see it. Yes. So, I'm excited because you are a tapper, and I know you also do hip hop, and I know you do African. So, these are all heavily rhythmic styles.
Yes.
So, I just think that's really, really cool. So, being a part of Milwaukee's art community, what has been the most inspiring part? Like what or who has inspired you to continue on your dance journey?
Well, I'll say what first is just like how the community has changed. Growing up, even though I did go to like City Ballet, after that experience and my experience with Tonko Thi, African dance, I sort of, going to school like out of the city sort of took me out of the community a lot. So after I was done with those groups and sort of like started going to places like near my school and things like that, I sort of, got disconnected from that community just a little bit. But I was able to sort of be drawn back in at the end of my high school career by Cedric Gardner. Mm-hmm. And he's somebody in our community that really inspires me, just like his body of work and how he works with children, and that's always inspired me. That about him has always inspired me.
So, do you work with children a lot? Do you have a heavy workload with children?
I love working with kids. I love working with kids, and I say this a lot because they're so teachable. Like, you can take a kid who knows nothing about dance, nothing about the arts or anything, and you can open that door for them. And that's what I love about working with kids. But yes, I used to work at the Boys and Girls Club, actually, in Green Bay, and my experience there was great. All the kids, they love dancing, and like I said before, like it's something that they don't really get an opportunity to do because dance is expensive, or it can be, as we all know, unfortunately. And so my job was just to expose them to dance and what it could do and how fun it could be, and just to see like kids get passionate about something. I love that experience.
What do you feel like moving forward? What is something that will increase arts exposure for children, especially in more underserved communities like Milwaukee area?
I think first we have to have those kids' support systems realize and recognize that arts are valuable. A lot of people in our inner city, a lot of times they don't, give the arts the recognition that they need. And so a lot of times kids may feel like, well, I don't have support doing my art, or my mom wants me to be X and I want to dance. Like, I want to play the piano. And there's not a lot of support for that sometimes. So first, at home, support systems. And then have those outlets that kids can go to in these underserved communities that aren't, costing parents hundreds of dollars a week. People can't afford that. So that cuts off the door right there.
So dance has a specific set of challenges to be what is considered a trained or a professional dancer, because you need dance lessons. A lot of times, singers can, even if you don't necessarily have a vocal coach, you can go online and you can get vocal training. You can go to church and sing in a choir. You can sort of emulate the music that you hear on the radio, or that you hear being sung. There's a way for you to sort of get your feet wet in singing, but with dance, you sort of have to have a teacher. Where do you see yourself in bridging that gap of accessibility for people in the community?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because that's one of my life goals, is to provide sort of a professional company for kids that they can go to and not have to worry about expenses and rides and things like that, because that's what I had to worry about. So that's what I'm
small things that are such huge barriers. Like, a lot of times it is transportation, getting from school to dance class or getting from home to dance class is often the thing that decides whether or not you can actually go.
Yeah, that was my struggle. A lot of times, thank everybody who ever gave me a ride to anywhere. When I got my car, I was like, thank y'all, I can do it myself now. But I appreciate everybody, like aunts, uncles, mom, dad. I would call people like, listen, I need a ride to rehearsal tonight. Can you please take anybody? So, yeah.
But I think that's part of the community, and that's part of the support system, because you may not have, sometimes you can have someone in your family that mentors you, and that's great. But a lot of times, especially because arts have been discouraged generationally as a viable means of income, because that was what we were trying to do. Like, okay, you got to do something in life that makes money to pay these bills so you can support yourself. So it's like a lot of the people who may have been able to be our mentors, have they furthered their own arts education? Those people don't have it. And so we have to go outside of our homes most times in order to learn an art or an ability. So, I think it's really important to understand how integral the support system is to the success of any arts. Because like you said, if y'all wasn't giving me rides, I just couldn't have went. And something that small is the difference between me being able to dance and me having to go get a 9 to 5 and be miserable for the rest of my life doing something that I hate doing when I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder. And every time I see somebody on stage, I'm looking at them like, dang, that could have been me. I wish that was me. And so what I want to know from you is, how do you feel that schools and homes can better support their children who have these artistic proclivities? What can the schools do, and what can you do at home to make sure that you are getting the most out of your artistic child?
Yeah, I think schools, first of all, make sure you keep the arts programs in the schools, because kids need art. We studies show, we all know that kids need art. And make sure that we're dedicating funds and things and resources to those arts programs to support those kids and the things that they may want to do related to the arts in the school systems. And then at home, you need to make sure that if your child shows interest in an art form, maybe tell them, spend time learning about, okay, what do you like about playing the piano or dancing so much? Okay, find a video, pick out a person who you admire that you just found on the internet or something, and see what they did to get to where they are. Study them, things like that. So just nurture whatever your child loves, nurture that, support them in that, even if it's just tell them, hey, look up a video and learn how to do a tandu.
Right.
That's your goal today. Learn how to do a tandu and then come show me. Little things like that could be so supportive at home.
And when I hear you saying, especially with the home aspect, it's just engaging your children's art. Because I think a lot of times we will allow finances to be a barrier and say, well, I just can't afford it. And leave it there. But because we're in this information age, there are so many different ways that we can actually support our children without having to spend money on it. And a lot of times that engagement is going to be golden because it'll encourage the child to keep on moving forward. Who and what were some of the major things that encouraged you along your journey?
Okay, along my journey, well, first of all, my parents are a really big support system for me. They always encourage me to do what I need to do, what I want to do, any goals, aspirations that I have, they encourage me to do that. I also have a few mentors along my way. Shout out Lakita Caldwell. She's a really big arts influencer in our city, and she's a really big advocate for the arts. So I appreciate her a lot for just being the person that sort of put me in other people's spaces. I got my first job, well, not my first job, but my first dance job at the Boys and Girls Club through her, mentioning oh, there's a dancer in your city that could fill that position. Mentioning my name, simple things like that that she's done.
Yeah, so that's so cool, and I'm so glad you came out here to talk to us today, Ms. Jada. This was so cool. This was such a great experience. Yeah, and you have a great presence, and you have a great spirit. And it's been no, seriously, it's been a great experience with you. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell people where they can find you, people social media handles and everything.
Okay. You can find me on all social at JMO Dance Choreo, JMO Dance, and then Choreo, CHOREO. And then you can follow Modern Movement, like I said, at modern_movement, MVMT, and www.modernmvmtapparel.com.
Dopeness. Thank you so much, Jada.
Thank you. Appreciate it.